In this video, we're going to talk with Francisco Roig from Bolivia, from 1750 Winery. Hi, this is Joanne at SommWine, and I offer online wine courses and public and private tastings. Francisco, I'm so excited to meet you the other day at the Vancouver International Wine Festival. Your wine is incredibly exciting to me, and I wanted to share that with my viewers. So can you tell me a little bit about Bolivia and where your winery is located?
Of course, thank you, Jan, and thank you for having me here in Vancouver. I'm falling in love with Canada. Bolivia is this country in the center of South America, for the ones who don't really know where it is. And within Bolivia, if you need to know something about wine in Bolivia, and that's got to stick with you, is altitude. Bolivia pretty much begins producing grapes where everybody else usually stops, which is at 1,600 meters above sea level. And then we go up all the way to close to 3,000 meters above sea level.
And I understand, is it the Surazos wind?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So there's a combination of two things we look in Bolivia to find a terroir, which are the altitude, because we're at a tropical latitude. So we need the altitude to have the freshness of the climate, but also we do need seasons. And seasons only happen in the southeastern slope of the Andes, facing the Chaco plains, which are the continuation of the Argentine pampas, because of changes in air pressure that allows for the Surazo, which in Spanish means big southern one. So these are these winter cold fronts that come during the winter month and allow us to have seasonality. And in the high valleys close to the plains, then you get to have proper frost and the minimum cold time for the plants to rest during the winter.
Okay, so these are northeastern aspects, so which I find super interesting because we're in the northern hemisphere, and when you study France and you study these Rhine regions, you're always looking for southwest
southern exposure,
but of course you're getting the maximum exposure to the sun on northeast exposure. That was super cool. For the wine, we should talk about that a little bit. So yesterday I got to taste your Cabernet Sauvignon, and it was so interesting. I'll say structurally, it was similar to Left Bank Bordeaux, medium plus intensity aromas, medium plus acid body, medium plus tannin, and medium plus length. I really equate it, but it was so fascinating. It was 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, and I smell it, and at first I thought, I think there's some Cabernet Franc in here. I think he's listed it incorrectly. And then I'm like, but it's not green pepper. What is that? So I think my tasting note might be black cherries and sour cherries, a little bit of mint. I said blue spruce, and even some orange. Like, it was really fascinating. It was, and I'll have to go back to it. I asked Francisco yesterday, how would he describe the green note? Because as wine students, we know that all Bordeaux varieties, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Carmenere, Malbec, they all have this interesting little hint of green, and how it shows itself is how you can really figure out the place of the wine and locate it by that slight green note. And you said grilled green pepper, and I think that is the most accurate way of describing it, but I don't want anyone to think this is an underripe wine. It's not. It's stunning. What are the foods in Bolivia?
Oh, so that's a great question. So Bolivia is really stuck in the middle of South America. So you have the highlands in Bolivia near Peru and northern Chile that are very influenced by the Quechua and Aymara culture, indigenous old traditions that are very similar to other Indian regions of South America, where potatoes, quinoa, a lot of starch, and fried pork and fried meat and very spicy foods are very popular. Then you have the southeastern plains around the city of Santa Cruz de la Sierra, which is this huge grassland pampas that has a lot of cattle ranching. So most people were cowboys back once upon a time, so everybody barbecues very often a lot of red meat, a lot of milk products, tons of different varieties of cheese, and different combinations that are similar to what you find in southern Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina. And on the other hand, we also have a piece of the Amazon rainforest with a lot of tropical fruits and products. So all these elements get combined in Bolivia. If you come to Bolivia, hopefully to Samaipata or Tarija, which are beautiful winemaking regions, but also to our large cities like La Paz, which is the capital, or Santa Cruz, which is the largest business hub. You can enjoy the things in the local restaurants. We do a lot of nice restaurants that try to incorporate all these different elements of the food. With also a huge immigrant population, Santa Cruz is very ethnically diverse. It's known as a migrant city. So we have like Sikhs from Punjab, we have a large Arab population, Croatians, Brazilians, people from everywhere, and they also do contribute with their cuisine.
For my viewers, if you want to go to Bolivia, and I recommend you do, I think it's El Pueblito.
So El Pueblito is a hotel, and it's a hotel right next to us. Beautiful hotel, by the way. And the town is called Samaipata itself.
There's a monastery and a bird sanctuary.
There's a huge national park, one of the most biodiverse in the world, right next to Samaipata. There is also, it's the only place, fun fact, it's the only place in the world where the wine belt and the coffee belt almost touch each other. They're mutually exclusive, but because Samaipata is at the northern frontier of the Eastern Andes viticulture, just across the rain shadow, you have coffee.
Right.
Which you can do coffee and winery tours, which is pretty cool.
So yeah, I understand it's 30 minutes. It's just a 30-minute drive to get to the coffy plantations.
Yes, 30 minutes.
So both drugs at the same time. Brilliant. I love this.
Yes.
Okay. There's also El Fuente nearby, which is the largest pre-Inca settlement.
Clearly done your homework. Yes.
UNESCO World Heritage Site. Oh
right?
My goodness, I can't wait to come visit. And would you like to tell us, because I only got to taste your Cabernet, would you tell us a bit about this wine here?
Sure. So this is our 1750 Tannat from 2018. Tannat is probably the most famous variety that we're known for, and in Bolivia is very famous. There's other Bolivian wineries that have done a beautiful job with Tannat, definitely in the Valley of Tarija, which is where the largest wineries are. We're a very small boutique winery in a cool climate frontier area, you know. So we have our own version of Bolivian Tannat, and this wine has picked up a lot of recognition, and we are very thankful to that, because it's one of the rare cool climate, high altitude Tannat. And what we search in this wine is to combine, you know, the high alcohol, high acidity, big tannins in a sort of approachable, lighter way. A little bit what you were describing in the Cabernet, but this just add the fact that Tannat has to sit longer on the vine to ripen, so it would get a higher alcoholic level. This is above 14%.
Okay.
And we harvest, I mean, for the nerdies like us, between 9 and 10 in acidity every year after year. And it could go like, it could go into like, you know, like 27 bricks, and the acidity doesn't go down because there's never warmth. It's just the sugar level is going out by the UV rays. So this is a wine that would last very, very long. In this case, this is anoaked.
Okay. So I love that. Okay.
Fully clean. We really like it, and it would go very well both with meat products, but it's also very interesting with a lot of vegetarian choices, which I really like to have. You know, because of the acidity and just how the whole ensemble goes around, it will pair very well with different things.
Okay, brilliant. And I'm gonna go back. I bet you anything it's similar to the Cabernet Sauvignon. The acidity allows the length and allows this juicy cranberry red fruit finish on it that really brings to light the quality that's come through your grapes and your wine. I'm so excited to try this. Thank you so much. Thank you, Francisco. Thank you so much for talking with me today. And for the rest of you, I'm going to leave a link to my website below to a post that gives you more information about things to do and what to eat and what to see while you're in Bolivia. And I hope to see you all in Samaipata, where 1750 Winery is, and meet Francisco.